everybody. This is Bill, K6KRQ. I was going to say the same thing as James, some kind of 3D printed thing for some kind of antenna construction. But I see where he got the toilet paper holder from because of that tile floor or wall that it's on. But yeah, right here too. I'm not seeing it on you. Oh, here it comes, maybe. There it is on YouTube. Yeah, it's a perfect picture. I don't see any pops or nothing. I got it opened up all the way on my monitor. So very good. I'm interested to see what it is.
Thanks, Bill. Sorry I messed up your call sign, KRQ. Stuart, November 6th, Delta Victor Mike.
Well, I have no idea what it is. It's interesting. It looks 3D printed. I agree. The picture quality is excellent. And also curious to know what it is. N6NA.
Thanks, Stuart. Bill, N6HA, what is it?
Hey, you guys got it. It's a hex beam. Well, part of a hex beam. Yeah, it's to add to my many projects. So, like, I need another. But I've been thinking about doing this for a while, so I got a friend to 3D print this for me. Each item took about, I think it was 8+ hours with, I think he only did like a 30 or 40% infill. So the piece on the right is actually the section that will hold on to the mast. And you see there's holes in it that fits into the other piece that's on the left that holds the spreader arms and the center pole for the feed point. So you could bolt those two together with some eyelets on the bottom to guide it, and you have a hex beam. It's actually printed to use a piece of equipment that electricians use, linemen. They use this thing called a hot stick. It's a 30-foot fiberglass pole, and this has been printed to fit that hot stick. Sadly, though, I guess I can't measure well. It's too small. So I've been using a Dremel to slowly make all the orifices larger because it didn't quite print exactly the way I wanted to. So we're close. I hope to get this in the air soon, and it should do 20 meters through 6 when I'm done. So we'll see if it works. N6HA.
That's great. That's great, Bill. Any questions or comments for Bill?
Comment.
Go ahead, Joel.
I'd be curious to see how well this works. A lot of hex beams. A lot of people do hex beam selection based on robustness and how strong this base plate assembly that you 3D printed is. In Sacramento, we don't have a lot of the severity that other places do with ice loading and wind and hurricanes and so forth, although some parts of the Sacramento area do get quite a bit of wind. I'd be a little leery of this in terms of strength and how well it's going to hold up to both UV and from the sun and a good windstorm. But neat project. Good luck with that. Back to net, the I6DG.
Thanks, Joel. Bill, what Joel's saying is make sure to put SPF 30 on those parts so they hold up to the weather. Any other comments or questions? All right. Well, Bob, N6PGQ, do you think you're ready?
Well, I've been playing with the silly thing, and my signal link goes to transmit, but the radio doesn't. So I don't know what the heck I did to it. So I think I'll pass this evening. 73 and 6 PGQ.
All right. Sorry about that, Bob. Maybe it'll fix itself if you receive a few more images. Okay, Bill, K6KRQ, are you ready?
I believe so. Let's see if I can rock this. Here we go.
clean image, have some disturbance in the top third. I don't know what that is. It doesn't look like the usual pause disturbance. There's a few horizontal lines, white lines, dotted lines across the top in a couple places. But let's ask Bob N6PGQ. Bob, were you able to receive that?
Yeah, receiving is fine. It looks like the picture was taken out of a car window, because we have the rear view mirror down in the bottom right-hand corner of a little house on the hill, and looks like either, I don't know, power line or some kind of antenna on the right of the house. There is that interference that is a horizontal couple of lines, and I didn't quite hear it on the speaker because I'm still trying to play with this silly thing to try to get it to transmit. But the quality's good. Not many, if at all, any pixel pops. So it's going to be interesting to know what the picture is in 6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Bill, N6HA.
Yeah, apologies. I think that might have been me. I realized my Vox was on, but I didn't see it key up, so I'm not sure. I must have just caught you a few times with those lines. So I'm sorry, Bill, for making your photo not perfect. But otherwise, excellent copy here. Not a single pixel pop or artifact. Really good copy. So yeah, I see some kind of shack in the back of that hill and power lines in the back. Does look like maybe a chapel, or I don't know what that is. So it's interesting to be up on a hill. Looks like you're on an unpaved road going up a slope to whatever that is. So I wonder what it is, because I don't see any antennas nearby, so I was going to think maybe a repeater site, but I don't see a tower. So where are you at? N6HA.
Thanks, Phil. This is AE6JG. I do see some power lines in the upper right corner, like 3 lines, and yeah, maybe a Vox interference could have caused the disturbance. Thanks for that. That might have been it. Who knows? But Bill, K6KRQ, where is this little house on the prairie?
One of you was kind of close. This picture's about 20 years old. I took it when I was still living in Canoga Park. I was sitting at work one day reading Roughing It by Mark Twain, and I read about a place called Unionville that he went to. So I looked it up, and lo and behold, it was still there. It's off of I-80 between Lovelock and Winnemucca, and on a kind of a dirt road. So I drove there, and lo and behold, there's still people living there. I couldn't believe it. I guess it's a semi-ghost town. But I don't know if that was a old schoolhouse or an old church. I don't remember. But that was one of my adventures from Southern California up into Northern Nevada. So, and by the way, I wouldn't have noticed the lines unless you guys said anything about it at YouTube. So anyway, that's what it is. Unionville, Nevada. Read about it in Mark Twain's Roughing It.
That's very cool. Any questions for Bill? This is Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf, James, net control for the Slow Scan TV Net. Anyone else like to add their name to the list for tonight's net? And let's welcome Simon, who's watching us live on YouTube. Okay, Stuart, November 6th, Delta Victor Mike, it's your turn.
All right, so as in weeks past, I've been experimenting with different setups, so different hardware, different software, different cables. I'm not receiving tonight, which concerns me that I may not be able to transmit, but I will try. This is PD-120.
Stewart, there's nothing, no tone.
All right, on to the next one. I'll try to figure this out. Thanks. N6NA.
All right, we'll come back to Stewart. Joel, AI6DG.
Oh, let's see if I got tone. One moment.
Yeah, you have tone. There's some noise in the background. Do it again. All right, it just might be high gain or something. Somebody with more experience would be able to tell, but it's working, so go ahead and transmit.
CD 120.
AI6DG, AE6JG. Well, it looks like a photo of a photo or something captured off a video screen. It's got a fisheye lens style photo, and it looks like a room in, like a hotel room in San Francisco. But let's ask Carol, KP4MD.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. First of all, I have to, I concur with you, James, that there is some white noise superimposed on that signal, and it caused a general snowiness throughout the entire picture. I was listening to it, and it definitely is there. There's some white noise getting mixed in with your audio there, AI6DG, Joel. Yeah, it's... It looks like a curious hotel room. A messed up bed, some stuff thrown on top of the bed, some stuff thrown on top of the armchair in the corner. A laptop open on the it's not even a desk. It's just a little shelf that's on the side of the wall there, and it looks like a really small type of hotel room, if that's what it is, or maybe an Airbnb or something. Back over to you, James, KP4MD.
Carol, Bill K6KRQ.
Hey, this is Bill K6KRQ. You know what? I was going to say like a hotel or bed and breakfast, wherever in San Francisco too, because of like that bay window looking architecture there. But I got like kind of a lot of that like moire pattern and more moirey than snowy, but other than that, it looks pretty good. It came over rather well. Let's see if there was another one of Joel's trips to San Francisco. Back to you, James.
Thanks, Phil. Okay, AI6DG, what is it?
You guys know me too well. Yeah, San Francisco hotel room, and not a cheap one, despite how small it is. Nothing in San Francisco is cheap. This is for a conference or convention I go to every year that's down at Metreon, which is kind of a, I don't know, a shopping, a mall type of thing, and they've got a movie theater on one floor and a events venue on the top floor and a Target on the second floor and like a food court on the first floor. It's really kind of weird, but the main thing is it's kitty corner or across the street from Moscone Center, which is a huge convention facility down there. And that's why this room is so cheap, is because it's literally one block in one direction from a Market Street BART station and another block in the opposite direction to Moscone Center. So, and it's on the good side of Market Street, because the other side of the Market Street, the rooms would be half the price, and on this side of Market Street, it's well over $200, probably closer, running in on $300 a night after you add in all the fees and everything. And I usually don't even drive into the city. I drive down to Concord and take BART in. That way I travel light. I only get to go down there with what I can fit in my backpack. And I usually have an excellent time, both between the convention itself and spending a day playing tourist in San Francisco. And this was a particularly nice trip because I got this nice room with a bay window facing the street. I could actually watch what was going on. And the noise wasn't too bad from the road street noise, but that's mainly because it was triple paned windows. Wow, I've never seen that before. Back to net, AI6DG.
Well, I guess we do know you pretty well, Joel, but that's great, and hopefully you had a good conference. Any questions for Joel?
Yeah, KP from D.
The net.
James, I might be able to give it a try. We could see if we get tone N6PGQ.
All right, go ahead, Bob, and then Carol, you're next. Go ahead, Bob. See, your tenacity paid off. Yeah, good tone.
Okay, well, I'll wait my turn, N6PGQ.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sure Carol would be okay with you jumping in front of her.
Okay, well, there's a story to this, and we'll see what everybody thinks. N6PGQ. This should be PD120 if everything works well.
N6PGQ, AE6JG, perfect copy. I mean, that came through perfectly. Looks like a menu or a coaster from In-N-Out Burger from a stock car racetrack. Let's see what Stewart thinks. November 6th, Delta Victor Mike.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking what you're thinking, James. I don't eat at In-N-Out. I have no idea what these are. I'm going to guess these might be, if these are stickers, it says, place stickers up at the upper right, that these might be collectibles that you get when you buy food at In-N-Out, and they're on a placemat. The sticker where the red car is on top of the text. I'm guessing that was not by design. Those are laying on top. The quality of the image is great, and I'd love to know what it is.
All right, thanks, Stewart. Joel, AI6DG.
I guess I would agree, although the only thing that's messing me up is the aspect ratio is wrong. It's kind of squarish, or it's actually taller than it is wide. Definitely In-Out Burger. So we've got cars, racetrack, palm trees. Oh, there's a race car theme. There's a race car theme here somewhere. So, did maybe In-Out Burger sponsor a racetrack somewhere, and this is something that a racetrack produced? Yeah, we need more info. Back to net, TI6DG.
Thanks, Joel. You know, as you're transmitting, there is white noise behind you. I think both Carol and I are hearing it. I'm not sure what could be causing that. So maybe when we're done, if you feel like doing some troubleshooting, we can figure it out. Or maybe there's a fan behind you or something blowing. Is that the case?
Yeah, but nothing's different this week that I'm aware of. I'll look around. I don't know.
All right, it's a steady, clean white noise. I don't know. Okay, well, Bob, N6PGQ, the only thing missing in this image is a sticker of a hamburger. We have drinks, sodas, milkshakes, coffee, French fries, a couple cars, and starting lights, but I don't see a burger. Back to you.
Well, I don't know how detailed it got, but the burger is driving the red car that's popping a wheelie. Well, this is an In-N-Out sticker book, and on the back side of this are a whole bunch of removable stickers that you now see on the front, and you can place them anywhere, and it says In-N-Out Burger Drag Strip. The letters are covered up by the Christmas tree, and this was the artistic creation of my younger brother, who accompanied me to the California Auto Museum, and we put my car in there. It's going to be in there for a year. And so we went to lunch, and he actually paid for it, which is kind of amazing. And so while we were sitting there, he did this artistic rendition of what he thought the In-N-Out drag strip should look like. So they give these things out, but this is the first one that had a car theme. And so there you go, N6PGQ.
Very, very cool. So I'm curious, is this recent or an old sticker book?
No, we got it today at the In-N-Out on Sunrise.
Oh, well, that's a few miles from my house, and I do like In-N-Out burgers, and now I see the burger driving the red car. Questions for Bob?
I didn't realize In-N-Out did stickers until I had my daughter, because every time we go there, the first thing the cashier does is hand her a booklet of stickers like this. So she has a lot of fun with it. So it's a nice treat for her. N6HA.
That's great, Bill. So I'm going to need to find a neighborhood kid to bring with me to get the stickers, is what it sounds like. Any other comments or questions?
Oh, they'll give you stickers if you're an old person and just ask for them.
All right, well, now I need to find an old person. That's what you're saying, Bob. Okay, any other comments? All right. right. This is James, Net Control for the Slow Scan TV Net, AE6JG, and it is Carol's turn, KP4MD.
Okay, thank you. This is KP4MD. I have first a comment for Joel. That white noise, definitely it's still there when you're transmitting. And it sounds like you may have a fan blowing in the background. Or the other thing it could be is you're no longer full quieting into the repeater. That could be if your power, your transmit power is lower than usual. Or maybe the windstorm that we had a couple days ago maybe blew down your antenna and it's not pointing in the right direction. It might be horizontal instead of vertical or something. But I would check that out and make sure it's it's either going in on your audio or else it's just you have a lower than usual RF level going into the repeater, because you're usually full quieting and you're definitely not full quieting now. That would probably also explain the little bit of snowiness on your picture. Can I ask Joel what you think of that, Joel? Over.
I think the latter, because I'm not receiving the repeater full quieting either. And I do know that the antenna mast is 10 or 20 degrees off from upright, but that's normal every windstorm. It's a chimney mount. Bends a little bit, so I might just need to go up on the roof and straighten it up again, or it could have some water intrusion somewhere, or damaged coax or something. I need to check the system, I think. I think it is on the antenna system because I'm not receiving the repeater full quieting either. Back to Net AS6CG.
Okay, that solves the mystery. Thank you very much. At least you know what to look for. This picture is going to be also going to be PD120, KP4MD.
And I had to write it before this evening. All right, Carol, KP4MD, are you ready to share an image?
Yes, indeed. This will be PD120.
That is a nice, QSL card from Maine, which is one of the states I still need to work to get my Worked All States badge. A perfect reception, a little off sync, but just barely. Bob, N6PGQ.
Yeah, nice QSL card. Let's see, what do we have? January 24th of 2024, so it's a little over a year old, and Carol's sitting there on 40 meters, and somebody wrote the correct indication for mode there and got a 559 contact. So be interesting to know where Carol was when she made this contact. N6PGQ.
Bill, N6HA.
Yeah, a good copy here. Maine is a good call. I don't think I'll have to look at my logbook. I'm not sure I've worked Maine yet, especially not a voice. But yeah, a nice looking QSL card. Bob brings up the mode. I remember A1 being something, but I'm pretty sure it's CW based off of the frequency. But yeah, I should probably look up what all those modes are. If someone sent me a QSL card with something other than SSB on it or FM, I'd probably have to look it up. So yeah, I wonder what the story is behind this. Is this? I'm sure you don't need Maine. So what's the significance of this card? And it's been a while since I've gotten a QSL card. I probably should send more out. And they're always fun to get. N6HA, back to that.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I would think the mode would be CW based on the frequency. I agree. Carol, tell us about this.
Okay, thank you. This is KP from the absolutely A1 is the modulation designator for CW. Originally, when I got my license back in the 70s, A1 was CW, A3 was AM, A3J was single sideband, A5 was amateur television, amplitude modulated. They changed everything. I think it was in the 70s or something, so they changed a lot of this. I don't know if A1 is still CW. I think it is, but there are a number of these. I think they now call single sideband J3E instead of A3J. And you're absolutely right. You figured the frequency 7016 is the CW band, and of course the RST report 559 also indicates it's CW because you have the 9 there indicating the pure tone. That would be the T report of the RST, which you drop off on voice. By voice reports, you only give them 2 numbers, not 3. I just got this in the mail yesterday, so I'm thinking this individual does a batch of QSL cards at the end of the year or something, or he just happened to order some QSL cards and he had this on hold until he could get his QSL cards printed. But I was not here in California when I made this contact, so I do need to look in my my logbook from either, I believe I might have been in Puerto Rico, or at that time I might have been in Virginia visiting my daughter and the grandkids. So that's what I'm really thinking. That's where I was, and I'm going to have to look up those logs because I don't have that in front of me right now. But nice to have a main card over there. Of course, that doesn't count for WAS from California, since I wasn't here. So back to Nets, KP from MD.
Thanks, Carol. And maybe he thought he hit Puerto Rico with your Puerto Rican call sign. Any questions about this? This is very cool. I like that it says U.S. Amateur Radio Station across the top. And as I think some of you know, I'm trying to design a nice QSL card, and I may steal that. I'm not sure. Any comments or questions? All right, Stuart, November 6, Delta Victor Mike. Did you fix your transmit and receive issues? Do you want to try?
Well, I made progress, but I don't think it's fixed. So I have a completely new setup today: new antenna, new radio, new digi-rig, etc. And it's now receiving, but it's receiving badly. So I'm going to guess it's going to transmit badly as well. So I will pass. Thank you for tonight, and try it again next week. Thank you. N6NA.
All right. Well, then I will send an image PD120. Stand by. Let's go to Bill, K6KRQ, for a comment.
This is Bill, K6KRQ. Bummer that the repeater tagged your image. Other than that, it was perfect. So we also know you quite well. This looks like another one of your in the park or field day tactical rigs here. I can see one of those cool Elecraft units. I'm not sure, that's on the right. I'm not sure what it is on the left. I've seen it before, but I'm drawing a blank. I don't know if it's an analyzer. Then you have a Bio-NO battery up there, and then your organizing stuff on the left, your bags and what have you. But and I don't know what that thing is, that black cylindrical thing is up to the right of the battery. I'd be interested to see what it is and an explanation of your rig. Back to you, James.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, it looks like I got hit by the PayPause system. I'll let Carol comment on the image, KP4MD.
Okay. Well, I was there and I saw you when you set that up. Since you're turning it over to me, I think you want me to report what I see. Yeah, it's nice, clear, vivid pictures. I do see the you got hit with the CWID, the Morse code ID. That's your KX3 with the Elecraft attachable paddles on the front, and that's the on the left there. That's the PX3 pan adapter, the matching pan adapter that works together with the KX3. The black cylindrical device you have behind the KX3 is a, I believe it's a Bluetooth speaker. and it worked pretty well, a lot better than a built-in speaker on the KX3. And yes, that is your I don't know if it's a Bioenno, but it definitely is a lithium battery behind there. And I see your carrying cases for all of your station there. And that was on top of the picnic table you were operating off. So that was during Winter Field Day, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, over there in Jan Park. So back over to you. I think that's right. This KP4MD, over.
Yeah, this is AE6JG. Yes, that's right. And I pitched it to you because you also gave me some Elmering and some schooling on CW and how to search for signals and et cetera. Yeah, so this was at Jan Park and Carmichael with the North Hills Radio Club Winter Field Day, and we went out. It got a little cold. I was also using a buddy stick, and it was working fine on 20 meters. So yeah, those paddles are a little tough to use, but I'm learning. And of course, Carol, you had no problem using them. Any questions or comments?
Comment?
I think that was Stuart. You're very quiet, Stuart.
Okay, I'll talk louder. So I've seen this image before, and I shared an image with James a few days ago. I just built a man pack, and I put my call sign patch on the back, and I felt presumptuous about doing that. And this image validated that for me. But I wanted to emphasize, as a new amateur radio operator, it takes a village, and I'm appreciating that village. The village being mentors like you guys and the various people who are producing equipment. I'm setting up a portable station for animal rescue, and in a truck and with the mast and all kinds of things. So between the Etsy creators who are creating 3D printed devices and adapters and mounts, the various resources to gather equipment, I never anticipated the broad array of people and resources to put this all together. So I just want to really appreciate that. N6NA.
Thanks, Stuart. Yeah, that is the great thing about the hobby. It's very social. You know, we nerd out on all the technology, and we have different interests. And what you're doing is amazing. And I hope you're tracking it, because what you're putting together is something that I think you should share with the club at one of our club meetings when you're ready. So I hope document it as you go, and maybe you can do a presentation. And thanks for that. Yeah, I think we all really love to help each other out and see what each other's doing and learn from each other. So that's right. Any other comments or questions?
Oh, let me know how many contacts you made, James.
Well, Carol made one official one, which we put into the North Hills log, and I got one or two POTA contacts.
Well, that sounds fun. N6PGQ.
Yeah, it just got too cold. Now Joel AI60G was out there with a whole major setup. So Joel, maybe next time you'll share an image of that setup. That's impressive what you had out there. Any other comments or questions?
Comment.
Go ahead, Joel.
Yeah, that's the setup I had was pretty much the standard setup I do for any of our field days or Jan Park events. Although, at least antenna-wise, the equipment varies a little bit. This trip I took out and set up the Flex radio, so it was a full-blown SDR, almost like taking my station at home out into the field. Usually I have a KX2 or a Lab 599 TX500. I had those, I just didn't set those up. And I even brought my Go box, my HF Go box out, but didn't set it up. Kind of surprised to hear you say it being cold. I thought it was actually a very nice day, and the only time that it really got a bit nippy was at the very end as I was tearing down just before it started raining, and the few times when wind kicked in. Although if you were on those picnic tables, sitting on those metal tables probably kind of sucked the heat out of you too. I purposely brought an extra jacket just to put down on the folding chair I had. Back to net, the I6DG.
Yeah, I'm not as rugged as I used to be, and because I was too lazy to pull out a table, I was under the shade, so we were getting wind, and I didn't have an extra jacket. But yeah, that was good. I think North Hills does an excellent job of setting things up, and in fact, Bob N6PGQ in our club, River City Arcs, is working on setting up an antenna shootout, which we'll do when the weather's better. And Bob promises it will include hot dogs. So, Bob, I think that's going to be exciting when we do that. This is AE6JG. Any other comments or questions before I close the net? Thanks to all of you who participated and everybody watching on YouTube. This is the conclusion of tonight's Slow Scan TV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. This net is officially closed at 9:57 p.m. Pacific Time. This is James, Alpha Echo 6, Juliet Golf, wishing all of you a good evening.